everybody, welcome to episode 37 of the Trading to Glory. We are starting off strong. We've got ourselves a Bass Dost Inform as a reinvestment. Now here is the deal. As I said, you always want to sell into the hype for these Icon SBCs, which is what I did, but I didn't really invest too much for the Icon SBC. It was just a few cards, but now I'm reinvesting after cards have dropped in price, but are still used in the SBC, like an 85 rated Inform Bass Dost is going to be used in several of these SBCs, including the new 3 SBCs and the first 3, Del Piero, Overmars, and Rui Costa. The new ones are, I believe, SCHMEICHEL, you've got Hernandez, and I believe the other one is Brema. I'm not 100% sure what the third one is, actually. It might be Brema. I'll have to take a look at it, but I sold Dost for 35k, and as you guys saw, I just picked him up for 29k right now. And you're asking, why would he drop if he's required in the SBCs? Well, essentially, since he was in packs during Halloween, and there's a lot of packs open during Halloween, of course, and then also with the fact that he was just super over invested in, has caused there to be more of a supply hitting the market right now than demand actually required for him to go up in price yet. But what that means is that eventually this card will rise in price. So the Iniesta is the exact same thing. I sold him for 85,000 coins, with people speculating you might need a high rated Inform for the squad building challenge for the Icons, and I got him as an 88 rated Inform. I got him for 70,000 coins, sold him for almost 86k there, and then he's actually dropped back down to about 68,000 coins, so I'll be able to reinvest in him as well. Then you've got Neres here, who everybody thought was a brilliant investment just because of the fact that he was from Ajax in the Eredivisie, and that there are a lot of legends from the Netherlands and legends that played in the Dutch league, but ultimately I thought that was really far-fetched. I sold him for 15k after I got him for 12k, and I made a decent amount of profit there, and then he dropped back down to about 12.5, 13,000 coins at some points today, but ultimately he wasn't a big investment or anything, and you might be able to reinvest in him, but I'm just going to go ahead and ignore him for the rest of the day, most likely. I've still got myself a lot of my investments for Player of the Month. Actually, all of my investments for Player of the Month are still there, and then I just picked up a reinvestment for Dost right now for 29,000 coins. So what I plan on covering in this episode is Team of the Week 7 investments. I plan on covering reinvesting for Icon SBCs. I want to talk about Player of the Month again, and then I also want to talk about Black Friday a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. Let's smash 1,000 likes on the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. I've picked up 2 more Bass Dost. This one was a Hunter card on him, and as we speak, he has been just skyrocketing in price. He's gone from about 31,000 coins pretty normally. He's already above 33,000 coins at this point. He's up to 33.5k, and within the next few minutes he'll be over 34k, and at this point I just see him continuing to rise in price. Right now there are about 2.5 pages at 34k, and I imagine within probably the next 10 minutes they'll all be gone. So I'm going to see if I can pick up a couple more deals for less than 33,000 coins, but unfortunately I got online a little bit late today. I've been super busy with college classes and training that I haven't been able to get on the market pretty much at all in the last 2 days. But ultimately, if we can pick up some good deals, I'll still be able to invest in a couple of Bass Dost on Snipes, and we got one for 31k, which I'm pretty happy with there. But given the fact that we could have bought him at about 31,000 coins without any issue a couple of minutes ago, I'm kind of missing out on the best deals for Bass Dost, but ultimately I'll still be making profit on every single card that I do end up picking up for probably anything less than 32,000 coins, because if you consider what happened with Kramerich and what happened when he went out of packs and then started really rising in price for the Icon SBCs, considering Bass Dost is 1 rating higher, I can't see Bass Dost staying lower in price than Kramerich will be. You know, because Kramerich is still over 40,000 coins. I see Bass Dost rising over 40k within the next, few weeks at least. So long term, this card's going to continue to rise. So I want to pick up as many as I can, really. I also want to get into the Team of the Week investing with you guys, so I'm going to do that next after I pick up a couple more. And there's another one, 32,000 coins for that Bass Dost. So let's go ahead and move into the Team of the Week 7. I do this every single week. Normally it's on the Thursday upload, but since I didn't upload on Thursday this week, it'll be on the Friday upload for this video. I'm actually bidding on a Lukaku right now. See if I can get a decent deal on that. I doubt I'll be able to, but let's go ahead and look at the Team of the Week, and I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on every single player from the Team of the Week. I'll try to make it a little bit quicker this week. A lot of you guys enjoyed and thought that the Team of the Week analysis last week was helpful, but one of the biggest critiques was make it a little bit shorter. So I'm going to do that today. So I'm just going to kind of go over quickly this time. So Higuain up top, he's a 91 rated card, but along with players like Thiago, Higuain's one of those cards that it's tough for this card to rise in price just simply because I guess the pace. I'm not 100% sure, but year in and year out, Higuain's never a crazy good investment because I guess he doesn't have too much demand. The community doesn't look at Higuain's informs or at Higuain's team of the season and be like, I need that card. Mertens is much more hyped up than Higuain is. So you've got a Mertens card, and over time, this would be a decent investment because so many people like this Mertens. Now, one thing you got to be careful about, Mertens racks up informs like no tomorrow. So you always have to make this more of a shorter investment than a longer investment because the longer you hold him, the more at risk you are that Mertens is going to pick up another inform, and this inform will drop in price. So that's what's dangerous about him, and it's kind of the same thing that I was talking about with Higuain with Cavani. Now, on the other hand, Cavani is probably going to be a lower rated or a lower priced 88, but considering that you've got Handanovic and Iniesta from the last team of the week, Cavani's never going to be used in like an icon SBC unless it was like specific to League One or specific to PSG or specific to Uruguay in some way, shape, or form. Now, I do like this one as an investment. He's an 83 rated, he's Spanish, and he's from La Liga. That gets a lot of links as well. So let me go ahead, before I move on to the next part, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my Lukaku investment, or my Lukaku bid, and see what this card's ending up going for. I'll go ahead and bid 806. I don't think I'm going to bid over 815. Considering that Lukaku is showing signs of dropping in price right now, since there's so many going up on bid, his price has been dropping significantly. I don't think that I'll be able to flip it for 910k again. I can't see him going over 880k right now until he has another very good game. So back into this here, we're going to go with the 84 Fernandinho, and this is the card that I think you'll see sprinkled into pretty much every weekend league squad for a while. This Fernandinho card, a lot of people loved the SBC version of his card last year. They wanted that to come back at the end of the year. A lot of people like Fernandinho as a CDM, and plus, since he is Premier League, he's Brazilian, he's got good stats, all 75 and above, 4 stats 80 and above. That card is pretty good. So over time, I think this would be one of the better investments. One thing you got to be careful of, we are getting close to Black Friday. So when you're investing in cards solely because they're good and you think that they're going to rise long term, kind of think of what happened to another Brazilian Man City player in form. You look at Gabriel Jesus, and even though there were a lot of times where you could flip that card for profit, that card ended up dropping a ton from the Halloween promotion, and he wasn't even packed during the Halloween promotion. So if we see a big market crash, especially with higher tier, now he's not like a higher rated, but higher tier inform cards that aren't even in packs anymore, like we did with Halloween, this Fernandinho card could drop, and the time to buy could be after he's out of packs, just like it was for Gabriel Jesus. Then we're moving on to an 81 rated player from the Totw, and this card is going to be close to discard at times, especially getting into Saturday and getting into Sunday morning. This card is going to be close to discard. If you can pick it up for that, I would, as he is from Totw, but then again, the card isn't really great. He's not like super high rated. He doesn't like have any like flair to the card. 3-star, 3-star, medium. Everything about this card is super duper average, but he is from a big league. So if the cards are from a big league like Bundesliga or Premier League, or if they're from Totw, League One, or La Liga, those 5 big leagues, if you get a card for minimum from those leagues, you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself profit, no matter what the rating is. Then, as I said, with that 83, I really think that one's a good investment. I might even be focusing on Sarabia this time around. He is less than 20k as it is. I might be picking him up on around Saturday. Then we've got Kolasinac and Ashley Young. These are really interesting cards for our analysis because Kolasinac, he is a left back, and also, Ashley Young is a left back from the same league. Now, a lot of the times, you don't see very many left backs from the Premier League in the game whatsoever. So now they're actually kind of picking up a little bit of competition. Which card is going to be better? Well, I think it's pretty obvious with Kolasinac's 91 physical. This card is definitely more in demand, also with the fact that it's higher rated. So this card is not going to be used in any squad building challenges unless, maybe an Arsenal player won POTM. But then we've got Ashley Young, who is actually kind of affecting our Aaron Moy investment because he's only 81 rated, which puts him in a lot of packs. He's 1 rating less than Aaron Moy, and even though the card doesn't seem as good, it's still okay, and the card is about the same price as Aaron Moy right now. So with that being said, Aaron Moy and Ashley Young are going to be about the same price until Player of the Month. Then, once Player of the Month hits, if it does require an inform, they would still stay around the same price. If it doesn't require an inform, what we'll see is Ashley Young will actually crash a lot more than Aaron Moy, just because he was a more recent inform. While Aaron Moy was in Team of the Week 6, Ashley Young is in Team of the Week 7, and then Player of the Month is announced only 2 days after Ashley Young goes out of packs. And then on top of the fact that there might be another really cheap Premier League inform in Team of the Week 8. So that's something to keep in mind if you're investing or have already invested in Aaron Moy or planning on investing in Ashley Young. Then we're going into Mark Call, who I think is one of the most overlooked investments from this Team of the Week. Firstly, he's a left back, which means that cheap left-back informs, I think, are going to be used a lot this year in cheap squad-building challenge solutions, because the left-back gold cards are always the most expensive. So I think left-back informs for SBCs that you need an inform in, so it's like an 84 rated squad, I think Mark Call would be used a lot because he's cheap, 82 rated, and you can avoid using an actual left-back like Leighton Baines, who rises up to almost extinct when you do need a high-rated team, including a left-back. So Mark Call, I think, is great. On top of the fact that he's going to get a strong link with Hilton, he's going to get a strong link with Luis Gustavo. So this card is actually really, really good for an investment going into any sort of maybe icon SBC, even Player of the Month. Like, there are times where Player of the Month has a broad what would you call it, window within the squad building challenge, like the 86 rated Harry Kane one. You didn't need specifically Premier League players, all you needed was an 86 rated squad. They could do something along the lines and cause this card to go up. Whatever it is, this card is going to end up rising long term. I think this is a very good investment from this Team of the Week. Then we've got Ter Stegen, who he is kind of a lower rated in terms of 86 rated informs, but I don't know if he's low enough rated for people to use, or low enough in price. I keep saying low enough rated, but low enough in price for people to use him in SBCs. But he is German. He does look like he has pretty good stats. This card is an average investment, but I don't know if I'm going to be focusing on it. Mandanda's one that has had a lot of focus on, and I think I might get in on this. Think about Kramaric again. We're going to go back to that example. Kramaric, he was an 84 rated right mid from Croatia in the Bundesliga, which I don't think is as good as being a French. In the French league, he'll get links with players like Marquinhos. He'll get links with players like Glick. He'll get links with players like Perrin or even Subasic out of position. That is going to be used a lot in high-rated SBCs. Even the current icon SBCs that just came out today, I think Mandanda is going to be used a lot in them. But if you take a look at what Kramaric is grafted, he's up to 45,000 coins now, and he was in the Team of the Week that dropped a day before the Del Piero and the Overmars and the Rui Costa icon SBCs, which is the exact same thing as Mandanda dropping a day before the Petit and the two other new icon squad building challenges. So Mandanda is probably going to follow a very, very similar graph and trend as Kramaric did. So if you're picking him up for like 25k now, he will easily rise to 35, 40,000 coins in 2 to 3 weeks. So it's easy profit if you were to pick up this Mandanda as long as you're patient. Then we're looking at Totw, and he's not a good card to use, and he's obviously not going to be a good investment in terms of talent and people wanting him for Weekend League. But this card is almost discard as well, and since you can get him for less than 13k, he is in one of the top 5 leagues. He's 82 rated, which isn't bad at all, and he's Brazilian. This card, without a doubt, is going to be a good investment. Get him for as close to discard as you possibly can, obviously. We've got Matteo, but he's only 78 rated, so unless you think he's going to go up from being a card, what league would that be? Is that La Liga there? That is La Liga from Girona FC. Obviously getting a inform for the game against Real Madrid, but ultimately, unless you think that card is going to be in enough demand to rise over time, I wouldn't invest in that card, and since he's 78 rated, you know there's going to be a lot of supply. Griffo might be a decent investment as he is close to discard as well, kind of similar to what I just said with the Toloi, 82 rated, good country, and good league. I like that as an investment. Then you've got Moussa Dembele, the one at Celtic, obviously, not the one at Tottenham, and that card is very, very good here. He is French, which does help his price, and I think think that, you know, since it's such a good card with 4-star skills, 85 pace, and 82 dribble, a lot of people might use this in their weekend league squads, but ultimately I think the supply is definitely going to outweigh the demand. I wouldn't look for it as a great investment. You could flip that for profit, but let me go ahead and quickly go through the rest of these. Farfan, maybe. His card does look really good, kind of similar to what we saw with Musa Sal last year. He does only have 3-star skills, but he is close to discard, so if you think that you could profit off that, go for it, but I don't know if I'd be looking at that card so much because he is from Peru, I believe that was, and on top of the fact that he is in the Russian League, it's going to be hard to link that card, and if he's more than discard price, he's a lot more expensive than Griffo and Totw right now. He's not going to be used in SBCs at all. Capone here is going to be a good investment if you think that maybe De Bruyne or Lukaku or Hazard are going to have a good run for Player of the Month in upcoming months. He would definitely rise in price, and then we do have a cheap German inform in this Team of the Week, which is kind of affecting our full Krug investments, but ultimately I think we're still going to profit quite a bit on full Krug. I'm going to go ahead and ignore the last 3 just for the sake of moving on, but again, if this did help you guys out, make sure to drop a like on the video, and let's transition into the next part. Next thing we are going to talk about, we're going to go ahead and reiterate some things that I've said with Player of the Month. Now, I've made a couple videos kind of focusing on Player of the Month, so I'm definitely not going to focus on it in this video. I'm only going to mention some things. Right now, Ashley Young is slightly cheaper than Aaron Moy, but I wouldn't really invest heavily in Ashley Young because I feel like a lot of people are going to, and then once it comes time to sell that card, he's going to be too over-invested. You actually won't make that much profit. So if you got an Aaron Moy, you're already making a lot of profit because we got him for like 23 to 24,000 coins, and he's already up to 29K right now, and he's only going to continue to rise. One thing we do got to be conscious about is if there is going to be a very, very cheap inform from the Premier League in Team of the Week 8. So kind of keep an eye out for games from the Premier League this weekend. That's the only thing that I would keep an eye out for in terms of Player of the Month. Otherwise, your investments are pretty safe. You'll be making profit. And even if there is a cheaper inform in Team of the Week 8, I could still see these Moy investments and everything really still working out in our favor. The next thing I did want to talk about is icons, is because right now there is new icon SBCs. Obviously, we've mentioned it a few times today, but the icons that are like the cheapest ones didn't go up in price because the icons, the only icon required needed in the SBC was a CDM. So since it was a CDM, the goalkeepers, the defenders, the wingers, all those cards, they ended up dropping in price a ton. So right now you've got baby Schmeichel down to 252,000 coins. And we know that right before the icon SBCs drop, we know that these cards rise up to over 300,000 coins. So I'm saying that it's a maximum of 3 weeks before the Schmeichel card is back up to over 300k. So you can pick them up for 250 easily, and if you want to make an easy 50k if you got extra coins. Now obviously, sometimes you don't want to be holding a card for 3 weeks, but I can guarantee you that you will be making profit. So right now the panic selling for the cards has kind of happened, and that's why you need to buy these cards sooner rather than later if you want to make the most profit out of them. So you would buy this card, and I think that 2 weeks from now, the Thursday, 2 weeks from, you know, I guess it would be in about 13 days after this video goes up, I think that would be still a very good time to sell. I think the cards for icons will still rise a ton that day. I think you'll be making an easy 40,000 coins in 2 weeks per card. So that's something to consider if you guys have a lot of coins. It's a good investment if you have extra coins lying around, and I actually might consider going into that a little bit just because of the fact that I don't want to invest my cards too much in anything other than SBC investing right now, because if I'm investing in big cards, they are going to be affected by the Black Friday crashes, which is kind of the next thing I'll talk about. But that's not the last thing I want to say about these icons. But don't get caught up only in Schmeichel, because there are other cards that are really, really cheap right now, including the cheap Overmars card. I think there's a cheap Perez card as well. Overmars is down. I've seen him less than 300k. So, given the fact that this is also a pretty good card, I think that this would be a decent investment. You also have Van der Sar, but I'd kind of focus more so on Schmeichel just because I think leading up to the Icon SBC hype, Schmeichel ends up rising a lot more than Van der Sar. But when it comes to defenders, you've also got like Puyol. Puyol's a very, very cheap card as well. So if you can get this card, I'd say no more than 280k though, just because Puyol right now, he's like 300k. He hasn't really crashed that much, and I've seen him a lot lower in price. So I wouldn't pay more than 280k on this card, but that would also be a good investment. So you don't only have to invest in Schmeichel to make profit in those icons, and it's guaranteed profit if you guys wanted to invest in them. And remember that if you end up taking that risk, sure, you're probably going to lose coins, but never panic sell. If you hold on to them you know, the longer you do, the more they'll recover in price, so you're not taking as much of a loss. But I'm going to say it at least once an episode. Always sell your cards into the hype to guarantee your profit. It's the best way to go about investments. It's the best way to make profit, because sure, there are some times that you'll end up going to, you know, be right and you'll actually make more profit if you take the risk, but I'd say a good 85% of the time you won't. And even when you do end up being a part of that 15% that end up getting the investments directly correct in terms of squad building challenges or whatever it is, a lot of the times they don't even rise that much just because of over investing and other things like that. So that's something that I will go ahead and say at least once an episode, whether it has to do with icons or player of the month or whatever it is. But speaking of Black Friday, let's go ahead and get into that a little bit. Picking up some good deals on Baz Dost. He's kind of up and down between like 32 and 35k right now, so whenever he drops back down to like 32.5k, which I think is about what he is right now, is about 32.5k, it looks like he might be back up a little bit. But whenever he does drop down to that like 32k mark at times, then I'll start sniping at like 31k, see if I can pick up some more deals, and then he normally just rises back up. But ultimately, we are still picking up some good deals on Baz Dost, and yeah, I do want to transition into talking about Black Friday now. So Black Friday is obviously one of the biggest crashes of the year, and I'm going to be bringing out a full guide for you guys within probably the end of this week, right? Well, this video is going up on Friday, so I'd say Tuesday by the latest, but it could be earlier. So just keep an eye out for that, because remember, I only bring out these ultimate trading guides in the biggest kind of market crashes or the biggest events of the year. So like Halloween, then you go out Black Friday, Footmas, Team of the Year, maybe St. Patrick's Day, and then Team of the Season and Footies. And so you're really going to have a maximum of, it looks like 7 different ultimate trading guides throughout the year, and Black Friday is going to be one of them. So you'll see that throughout this weekend or a little bit into next week. Just keep an eye out for it, and I'll explain everything you need to know. But on the surface, essentially, what I'm going to tell you guys is that you want to be investing only in things that are going to be supported by squad building challenges, and anything that is, you know, being supported by, is it going to be used in weekend league? Is this a good investment because of that? Like Fernandinho, how I was talking about earlier, then be very, very careful. And I'd say flip that within a week. Don't hold it for too long, because people will be selling for Black Friday soon. So right now, there haven't been too many Black Friday videos hitting the YouTube channels yet. And I haven't dropped my, you know, guide yet. And obviously that could cause a little bit of hype around it. But in the overall scheme of things, my channel is a lot more irrelevant than big channels like Mad HD Gamer or Itani or Nepenthez and players like that and YouTubers like that. So keep an eye out for whenever they're going to drop it. If Mad HD Gamer is dropping hints on Twitter that he's going to drop a Team of the Year guide, you know, be ready for that to hit. You're going to see a big market crash called the hype before the hype that'll hit the market, and it'll cause cards, like big cards, to go down. People that play Weekend League will end up selling their teams and stuff like that, and the market will just take an absolute dump. What it'll cause is everybody to be liquidated in coins, and I've kind of explained that a little bit in the past, and I want to go ahead and I'll do that again in the Black Friday video more in depth. But essentially, if everybody's ready to buy cards, then once Black Friday hits, the market actually does take a big boost, and I guess you could say the economy recovers. So I did want to get that out of the way in this video, and I'm not going to go too in depth on Black Friday in this video, because I did want to kind of focus this video on more so Team of the Week investments for this week. But I will be bringing that guide out soon, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. I think that's going to be it for today's video. I'm going to go ahead and keep it short and simple. Obviously, it wasn't like a short episode, but everything I talked about, I wanted to get through it quickly, just so we could keep this not to be a 40-minute video, because this could have easily been a 40-minute video, I'm telling you that much. But that's going to be it for today's video. Be sure to drop a like on it if you did enjoy. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.